We've been voted Best Financial Planner 2 years running in the Best of Indiana County contest, and we have thousands of happy retirees in over 30 states. As it turns out, we do know our stuff.
So whether it's 401ks, IRAs, annuities, or life insurance, we'll break it down for you without the confusing jargon.
Because you deserve to retire happy, not scratching your head over complicated financial plans.
So give us a call or visit gces.us. Retirement planning that actually makes sense. We've got your back.
GCES.
Advisory services offered by Encompass More Assets Management, LLC, and SEC-registered investment advisors. Registration with the SEC does not imply a certain level of skill or training. GCES earned the rating of Advisor of the Year on July 31st, 2024, based upon voting done from 4/12/2024 through 4/26/2024. The contest was created and administered by bestofindianacounty.com. GCES did not pay bestofindianacounty.com or participate in the creation of the contest or results calculations of the voting. And looky over there. There's Galen Bargerstock, GCES. Clint unable to be with us this morning as we talk retirement financing and all of those different issues, and who better to talk to than Galen Bargerstock. All right, Galen, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. Good to have you with us here today. So I want to follow up a little bit on something that we started discussing last time.
Okay.
And that is a listener wanted to know, my husband and I, we set up our retirement and we think that we're in good, solid condition. But what happens because eventually one of us is going to pass away? And one, there's usually one person in a couple who has a better idea of how to handle the retirement savings and all of the different issues of life. What happens to the one who is left? What do they do if they're not absolutely certain about here's the finances, there's finances everywhere. Yep. What do I do about all of that?
You're talking about the saver versus the spender.
There you go. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like, most of the time we're talking about a marriage, so it's just like any marriage. Communication is key. So maybe if you don't understand that topic, there's things that Clint and I have talked about in the past where we'll get aggravated enough that we don't want to talk about it anymore. And that's kind of like anybody in a relationship with money. Money is a hard topic to talk about in general. So I guess you just have to have that open line of communication of, this is what we have. I know you might not understand it, but hey, this guy Galen that I've been working with for, 2 years, he does understand. So if something happens to me, he says that he knows, how to help us. And, honestly, whenever I meet with somebody, I'm putting notes in my computer system about things like this. Like maybe, Paul might not understand how this might work, but Cynthia does, so I'll put notes in my system to know who is the financial expert in the household and kind of what to do if something were to happen. So I'm kind of preparing that for you guys.
Do you get couples or individuals who are in the position where they say, I just don't care about any of this stuff. I never have.
Yeah.
And therefore, I don't really know a lot about it. It's not because I don't understand finance. It's never been something that I have any concern for.
Yeah, absolutely everybody. So, this is what I would say to that. I think that, Social Security is one of the biggest impacts on anybody's retirement plan, because we all know that, we all have that right now. Mm-hmm. So to me, every individual should know how much money they're making from Social Security right now, today, at this very given minute. Mm-hmm. And, I guess let me ask you a question, Todd. Do you know what you're going to get from Social Security? Have you been online?
No.
And most of the time, people are a no.
Every once in a while, you get that letter, and the letter tells you, it's a pretty comprehensive letter, but you never know when that letter's ever going to come, if it's ever going to come again.
Exactly. And the day and age that we live in today, Social Security wants everybody to go online. And if they weren't broke, I'd ask them for a sponsorship, because I promote this. Everybody should go to ssa.gov and create an account, because it's very important to know how much money you're getting from Social Security, because on my side, with that being most likely a third of a person's pension, sometimes half, if you don't have a pension, it's important for me to know what that dollar amount is. And with today's technology, cell phone, 5 minutes, you can go online and create an account in Social Security, and you can know, because that is your personal number with them.
Yeah. A lot of couples will be kind of unbalanced. He has a job that doesn't have a pension at all, and so they scrape away and they save through IRAs or 401ks or whatever it is that they do. I don't even know what the terms are.
Yeah.
So I'm the one that doesn't care. And she, on the other hand, might have a job that has a nice pension, or in a lot of cases, she started out in the job and there was a really nice pension, then pensions migrated to some other form, but there is something coming from over there that his employer doesn't provide. So that there's that unbalance.
The unbalance and the unknown, and it's scary for everybody. No matter if you're, the saver or the spender in the relationship, it's going to be scary for both of you guys to understand what's going on. You have to take kind of a mindful approach to what retirement is. One, you have to be realistic with everything that you have, and you have to set goals for yourself that are easily obtained. And that comes into what age you are to where I'm going to guide you for retirement. Also, I've been meeting with a lot of people from Indiana that are already retired that have questions about, hey, I'm already retired. How is this what's going to happen if I pass away? And I'm getting a lot of questions like that right now is, do I spend this money? People are terrified to spend their money for some reason.
Yeah. Well, they're afraid they'll run out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at one point, I understand the theory behind it. You want to save. But at the other hand of it, you're saving all this money and then you're not accessing it. You're not spending it. And then what was it all about? Yeah. Because when your children inherit it, like most things, the IRS is going to win and then, they're going to spend it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's that immortality argument. I always tell my church congregation the death rate is 1 per person, and we all understand that. Yeah. But somebody thinks they're going to beat that. You just used the phrase, if I die.
Yeah. True.
It's not if, it's when.
It's when. Yeah, it's true.
And so people, they get afraid that maybe I'm the immortal, and I'll keep living beyond the money.
Yeah, I mean, people are, generally in this area, and most of Pennsylvania in particular, conservative. So, conservative products, which you might have went into right at retirement in your 60s and now you're 75 plus. There are more things available to a person now, just because all these companies take turns beating each other to try to make the most money. These companies want to profit. And when these companies are trying to profit making better products, that's also making better products for you. So I would just take advantage of the now and kind of take a look and see what you have, even if you are 70 years old.
Yeah. I have another question from a listener, but I want to get to something else before we do that, and we might have to even put that off until the next time. Okay. You call it sort of bipolar savings. What is that? What are you referring to when you say that bipolar nature of
bipolar nature? Well, it's being realistic and then also being really obscene and being obscure with it. I mean, you have to have very set, concrete, realistic goals of what you want to happen into retirement. But then real life is actually going to hit you, and you have to learn to sidestep with it and move with life and kind of keep your goals, but don't beat yourself up if you buy that $6 Starbucks coffee by accident again when it's going to cost you $1,000 extra a year. So you just have to be on a path that's kind of ever flowing in the same, good and bad scenarios, because one day you could have $20 in your pocket. That $20 could be gone because, you lost it or you needed to spend it real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Sort of like the person that stands there in the grocery aisle looking at the item that's 30 cents more expensive than the other one and beats himself up for about 10 or 15 minutes and then leaves the grocery store and goes through the drive-thru and spends $14 on a hamburger and fries.
Exactly. And nowadays, if that $20 is already gone if you walk in that grocery store.
Yes, just for walking in. Just for walking in. All right. So those are some of the items that came up. And that other question of mine, it sort of flew out of my brain.
That's all right.
I'll have to find out again from that listener what it was that they were talking about. But all of these are issues that GCES is set up to help people understand. And you don't expect that the client or the person who comes to you and says, help me with my retirement savings, that they're going to understand everything. That's what you're there for.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a lifelong journey that we kind of take together, and I meet you where you're at, and then we go from there, whatever stage you're at, because truly, I don't know what your knowledge might be about finance, but I know that if you want to get somewhere in particular, I'll help you get there. You know, whether that's retirement or whether it's not retirement, just passing on, you know, the money that you do have to loved ones.
Yeah, there's
The efficiency.
Exactly. And when you've spent your whole life worried about, am I going to have enough for my retirement? I know what that other question was, and we do have time to get to it today. So that other question that somebody was asking me was, ask Clint and Galen when they come in next time. I have the feeling that at one point in my life, I'm going to end up in a personal care facility of some sort, long-term living arrangements, whether it's nursing or some other thing. And I want to set up my life so that whatever that home is, they get that reputation, fair or not, that they're going to come in and they're going to grab everything that you have in order to take care of you for the rest of your life. And all you're really doing is you're working for the personal care home through your work career. They want to avoid that sort of scenario, which it may be a perception thing, but address that if you would.
I mean, again, it all depends on what age you are to what I'm going to recommend. Long-term care policies in general are very expensive and they're not set in stone. So I've always been under the mind of life insurance, putting long-term care protection or care builders built in long-term life insurance, like permanent life insurance policies, like universal life policies. I find it that way. It's a what if. It's addressing the situation because what if it happens, but if it doesn't happen, you didn't waste your money on something separate. Mm-hmm. But it goes back to that whole you're going to die scenario, and unfortunately we're all going to pass away. So if you wrap it in towards a life insurance policy, somebody is going to reap the rewards of that policy, whether you don't go to that care facility or not, but you have the protection.
Yeah. Boy, it's strategic, isn't it?
It is strategic, yeah. And I like that one for a survivor benefit, too, because usually survivor benefits on pension are just spouse to spouse, where life insurance can trickle down, and you can leave that to a cat. You can leave it to whoever you want. So there's much more available for you to do with that money in life insurance.
Yeah, that strategy is going to kick in whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, whatever it is, the strategy will kick in, and it will change depending upon the age and the work life that you have left.
It's going to change, and the younger you are, the cheaper it also is. So if you get into the policy in your early 30s, I would say early 30s is the best time. You can have that care protection. You can have a great life insurance policy that's also going to build cash value along the way as well that you could pull out if you need it.
Yeah. Galen Bargerstock, GCES. Tell you what, Clint, I know you're listening, so who needs you?
No, he's asleep. He is really sick, so he's probably asleep for this one.
Well, Galen, you did a great job today without him.
Thank you.
So if somebody wants to get started with you, wants to explore, because you're certainly willing to talk with them, no risk, what should they do?
Give us a call, 724-915-0000, or just pop into the office. I've actually been in the office twice where people just popped in. It's kind of nice. Yeah. It's not a delivery. It's just somebody randomly coming in wanting help.
Very nice. Very nice. Thanks, Galen. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have
Galen
a good one.
Bargerstock. It's GCES. It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. 825. Matt in the newsroom coming up right now, Boomer Sports.
This is Boomer Esiason with Sports Minute, sponsored by Napa, the pros that know how to keep your business moving at full speed. Today's birthday shout-out goes to DeMarcus Lawrence. Last month, the 33-year-old four-time Pro Bowl defensive end signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with Seattle. The Tank lit up social media by saying he wasn't going to win a